A very good evening, aspirants. Welcome to the Hindu newspaper analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 7th of September 2023. Displayed here are the list of news articles that we are going to discuss today. So without much delay, let us get into the first news article discussion. Take a look at this editorial article. It deals with the issue of malnutrition. See, one of the major hurdles in addressing the issue of malnutrition in India is improper capacity building. This editorial, through a case study, highlights how a proper counseling and monitoring mechanism can help solve the issue of malnutrition in India. So in this news article discussion, we'll address the points mentioned in the editorial article. Before that, the syllabus relevant to the news article is highlighted here for your reference. You can go through it. Now let's start the discussion by understanding the basics about malnutrition. See, when the prefix mal is attached to any word, it means it is inadequate or improper. So malnutrition simply means inadequate nutrition or improper nutrition. Malnutrition is a general term that refers to all forms of poor nutrition. It is most often associated with undernutrition. Here, undernutrition is inadequate nutrition resulting from inadequate consumption of nutrients, poor absorption of nutrients, or excessive loss of nutrients. Undernutrition results in wasting and stunting. But don't forget that malnutrition not only includes undernutrition but also overnutrition. Overnutrition is the opposite of undernutrition, which means getting more nutrients than needed. Overnutrition also occurs when there is an excessive intake of specific nutrients, which results in deficiency in other nutrients. Overnutrition leads to overweight, obesity, and diet-related non-communicable diseases like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and some cancers. This is about malnutrition. Now, what about the prevalence of malnutrition in India? See, as per the recent report of NFHS 5 2019-21, the nutrition indicators for children under 5 years have improved as compared with NFHS 4 2015-16. Stunting has reduced from 38.4% to 35.5%. Wasting has reduced from 21% to 19.3%. And underweight prevalence has reduced from 35.8% to 32.1%. Although it is nice to see a decline in all these parameters, it is important to note that according to Global Nutrition Report 2018, India has the highest number of stunting, wasting, and underweight kids in the world. So it's important to take steps to address malnutrition in our country. To address malnutrition, the government must ensure food security and nutrition security. Ensuring food security and nutrition security requires guaranteeing that high quality food is accessible, affordable, and readily available. Our government, for its part, has taken various steps to address the issue of malnutrition. Now let us see a few initiatives taken by the government. First one is the PDS, that is the NFSA Act. Through an efficient public distribution system, our government addresses food insecurity by ensuring accessibility, availability, and affordability of food grains. The second one is Integrated Child Development Services, ICDS. The ICDS aims at improving the nutritional and health status of children below the age of 6 years and pregnant and lactating mothers. It provides services like supplementary nutrition, health checkups, immunization, and early childhood care and education. The next one is the Midday Meal Scheme. This program provides free healthy meals to school children. This scheme helps increase nutritional intake and encourage school attendance. The scheme ensures both food security and nutrition security. The next one is the Pradhan Mantri Malnutrition Yojana, PMMVY. See, it is a maternity benefit program that provides cash incentives to pregnant and lactating mothers. This scheme helps improve nutrition and health during pregnancy and after childbirth. The next one is the National Nutrition Mission or the Poshan Abhiyan. Poshan Abhiyan is an umbrella mission with the aim of reducing malnutrition in India. To ensure synergy, the government combined various schemes with similar targets under the Poshan Abhiyan. Through this, the government aims to address various issues like stunting, undernutrition, anemia, and low birth weight. The next one is Poshan Vatika. This scheme mainly focuses on addressing nutrition insecurity. Under this scheme, people are encouraged to grow vegetables in their backyard to diversify their diet. Last one is the Anemia Mukt Bharat AMB campaign. This initiative is focused on reducing anemia. Under this initiative, the government provides iron and folic acid supplements, especially to women and children. So these are all some of the steps taken by the government to ensure food security and nutrition security. These steps taken by the government have been effective mainly in addressing food security. But nutrition security is still not fully ensured in India. That is, the government has not effectively addressed the issue of hidden hunger. Now, why is the government facing issues in ensuring nutrition security? See, the first hurdle is people lack proper knowledge regarding the eating and feeding practices. The next hurdle is the myths and pseudoscience regarding food that is spread in social media. The last major hurdle is the increased accessibility to highly processed food. All these hurdles can be overcome if the government can ensure behavioral change among the people. So the government took some steps under the Poshan Abhiyan. The government included the social and behavioral change communication SBCC component under the Poshan Abhiyan. Here SBCC is taking various steps to promote changes in knowledge, belief and behaviors. So the government, to increase awareness and bring about behavioral change, started taking various steps like bicycle rallies, plantation of Poshan Vatikas, celebration of Poshan Ma, Poshan Pakwaras and Goth Baris. See, we have already covered Poshan Vatikas, so we'll see some points about Poshan Ma and Poshan Pakwaras and Goth Baris. First, let us take Poshan Ma. It is a health awareness initiative. It is celebrated during the month of September every year under Poshan Abhiyan. Under this initiative, awareness regarding antenatal care, optimum breastfeeding, girls' education, diet, right age of marriage, hygiene and sanitation are provided. Then Poshan Pakwada is celebrated in the month of March. The Pakwada aims to raise awareness about the importance of nutrition and promote healthy eating habits. Goth Bari means baby shower. During baby shower, awareness regarding maternal nutrition is provided. These are all steps taken by government to raise awareness and bring about behavioral changes. Even after taking steps to raise awareness, nutrition security is still not ensured. And why is that? According to the editorial, the government has not taken any step to institutionalize nutritional counseling and monitoring mechanisms. To highlight the effectiveness of nutritional counseling, the editorial highlights the example of Poth Laika Abhiyan in ensuring nutritional security in Bemetara. See, Bemetara is a district in Chhattisgarh. It is agriculturally rich. The people of the district are economically well off and the district is not Naxal affected. But the thing is that this district had a high incidence of severe acute malnutrition children. See, the issue in this particular district is not about accessibility or affordability, but lack of proper knowledge. To address this issue, the state government launched the Poth Laika Abhiyan. Poth Laika Abhiyan literally means the Healthy Child Mission. The mission had the components of counseling and monitoring. Under this scheme, every Friday, the parents of targeted malnutrition children are summoned and counseled. They are educated about the importance of healthy diet, clean habits like washing hands, and having an overall healthy lifestyle. The progress is also monitoring through door-to-door visits. This scheme has been enforced for 9 months. In this short time span, as many as 53.77% of targeted children were brought out of malnutrition. This shows the effectiveness of the scheme. In addition to being very efficient in addressing the problem, the scheme is also cost effective. For example, let's examine this scenario. Instead of offering nutrition counseling, the government opts to tackle the issue of nutrition insecurity by supplying nutritious cooked meal. This approach demands substantial financial resources and it also faces the issue of leakage. However, under the both Laika Abhiyan program, training and monitoring can be done at a minimal expense. In addition to this, as highlighted in the case study, the outcome was highly favorable. So both Laika Abhiyan is both cost effective and effective in addressing the issue of malnutrition. This case study highlights the importance of counseling and monitoring. So our government can also institutionalize counseling and monitoring mechanism to effectively tackle malnutrition in our country. That's all regarding this news article discussion. In this news article discussion, we saw the steps taken by the government to address malnutrition, the hurdles faced by the government, and the importance of institutionalizing nutritional counseling. So with these learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Take a look at this news article. This news article talks about the achievements of India in the ongoing G20 presidency. See, in a democracy, the party in power doesn't matter. The well-being, right and prosperity of the people should always be the focus. In that line, various steps taken by the present government of India is appreciable. One such move is making the best out of G20 presidency. This news article is very special because it is written by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So without wasting much time, we shall see some of the important points mentioned in the news article. See, as you all know, India has coined the optimistic slogan Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam for the G20 Summit 2023. Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam means one earth, one family, one future. See, the idea here is to encourage progress as one universal family transcending borders, languages and ideologies. But the world order after the pandemic is very different from the world before it. There are three important changes in the post-pandemic world order that should be noted down. Firstly, there is a growing realization that a transition from a GDP-centric to a human-centric view of the world is needed. Secondly, the world is recognizing the importance of resilience and reliability in global supply chains. Thirdly, there is a collective call for boosting multilateralism through the reform of global institutions. Our G20 presidency has played the role of a catalyst in all these three shifts. For example, in December 2022, when India took over the presidency from Indonesia, India insisted on a mindset shift that should focus on mainstreaming the marginalized aspirations of developing countries, the global south and Africa. At the very beginning of its presidency, India hosted the Voice of Global South Summit virtually in January 2023 with representatives from 125 countries. The purpose of the summit is to gather inputs and ideas from the global south. The surprising fact here is that the summit recorded the largest ever participation from African countries, and India even pushed for the inclusion of the African Union as a permanent member of the G20. This shows that G20 presidency under India is committed towards inclusiveness. Secondly, as you all know, an interconnected world means our challenges across domains are interlinked. So India took many steps to coordinate efforts for global issues. For example, we are in the midway of the 2030 agenda, and many are noting with great concern that the progress on Sustainable Development Goals, that is SDGs, is off track. That is, it is not in the track itself. So the G20 2023 action plan on accelerating progress on SDGs will spearhead the future direction of the G20 towards implementing SDGs. Apart from these two, the author highlights efforts towards combating climate change. See, many nations in the global south are still developing. So, addressing climate change must be a supplementary goal for them. Even they can attain these goals earlier if they are matched with measures on climate finance and technology transfer. So instead of focusing on just setting limits on what should not be done, we should move to a more constructive attitude focusing on what can be done to fight climate change. One kind of such suggestion by India is the Chennai High Level Principles in short called as HLPs, for a sustainable and resilient blue economy. See, this HLP focuses on keeping our oceans healthy. Secondly, under India's presidency, a global ecosystem for clean and green hydrogen will emerge along with a Green Hydrogen Innovation Center. Thirdly, similar to the International Solar Alliance launched in 2015, India has now launched the Global Biofuels Alliance. See, this alliance will support the world to enable energy transition that are consistent with the advantages of a circular economy. According to the author, democratizing climate action is the best way to impart momentum to the movement of combating climate change. Just like individuals making daily decisions based on their long-term health, they can make lifestyle decisions based on the impact on the planet's long-term health. So just like yoga became a global mass movement for wellness, India have also nudged the world with lifestyles for sustainable environment, in short called as LIFE. Apart from this, Government of India had proposed to the United Nations for declaring 2023 as International Year of Millets. Apart from food and nutritional security, millets is boosting the climate smart agriculture globally as well. Thirdly, the author talks about technology. See, technology is transformative, but it also needs to be made inclusive. In the past, the benefit of technological advancement have not benefited all sections of society equally. But India, over the last few years, has shown how technology can be leveraged to narrow inequalities rather than widening them. For example, billions across the world that remain unbanked or lack digital identities can be financially included through digital public infrastructure or DPI. See, DPI is a digital network that enables countries to safely and efficiently deliver economic opportunities and social services to all residents. Imagine DPI like roads, which form a physical network that connects people and provides access to a huge range of goods and services. India has recently developed its own DPI and it has been globally recognized as well. So through the G20 presidency, India will help developing countries to adapt, build and scale DPI to unlock the power of inclusive growth. Apart from this, India's G20 presidency is working on bridging the gender digital divide, reducing labor force participation gaps, and enabling a larger role for women in leadership and decision making. So to conclude, India's G20 presidency is striving hard to bridge divides, dismantle barriers, and sow seeds for collaboration that nourish a world where unity prevails over conflict and shared destiny eclipses isolation. So as G20 president, India had pledged to make the global table larger to ensure that every voice is heard and every country contributes. And the author here says that he is very positive that India have matched the pledge with actions and outcomes. So these are all some of the important points that you have to note from this news article. Make note of all the points. It is very important for the mains. So with these learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Now take a look at this editorial article. Recently, the use of the term Bharat instead of India in the invitations for the G20 summit has created a debate about country's name and its historical implications. The invitations mentioned President of India as President of Bharat. So in this context only, the article here is written. In today's discussion, we shall understand this controversy of names in historical, constitutional and international perspectives. Before that, the syllabus regarding this discussion is highlighted here for your reference. You can go through it. First, let us start with historical significance of the name Bharat and India. See, these names have deep historical roots and carry cultural and traditional importance. The term Bharat is linked to ancient texts like the Mahabharata and Puranas. In the Vishnu Purana, the term Bharat is used and it refers to the land between Southern Sea and Northern Himalayan mountains. So it is more than just a name and has a geographical implication. Now, if you take the name India, it is derived from the name of Indus River. The Greeks were the first to use this name, and Europeans adopted this name later. India became the official name of the country after British colonial rule. So both these two names have ideological significance as they reflect the diverse values, beliefs and heritage of the country. Also know that during Afghan and Mughal rule, the northern part of the Indian subcontinent were called as Hindustan, and this word Hind is derived from Arabic language. Now we shall see what is the debate during the time of independence. See, there was an argument about the name India after the independence. Pakistani leaders wanted India to be called either Hindustan or Bharat. India disagreed and said it was the direct successor to British India, while Pakistan was separated from India. Then the matter was settled in favor of India. So we claimed the name India in the international arena and got membership in the United Nations. Next, we shall discuss the constitutional aspect of these names. In the English version of the Constitution, Article 1, Clause 1 starts with India, that is Bharat. In Hindi version of our Constitution, Article 1 read as Bharat Arthat India, which means Bharat, that is India. So in Hindi version, the primacy is given to the word Bharat, and in English version, the primacy is given to the word India. So both names were used in official documents according to the language of the document. It means whenever the English language was used, the term India was applied, and whenever Hindi was used, the term Bharat was applied. Due to this formulation, the common practice is to use India in English and Bharat in Hindi. For example, the English Gazette is called Gazette of India, while in Hindi it's Bharat Ka Rajpatra. This naming pattern is followed consistently. Now moving on to see the political dimension. See, India's renaissance gave rise to the idea that all people in the Indian subcontinent formed a single nation. Many people who wanted to connect with India's ancient heritage preferred the term Bharat. Leaders like Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose believed that a word like Hind could be more inclusive and suitable for people of various faiths. That's why he popularized the phrase Jai Hind. Even in recent times, President of India concluded her Independence Day speech by saying Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, giving emphasis to both terms. Recently, some opposition parties have formed a group called India. It stands for Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. This has created a political dimension to the use of these names. So in conclusion, the names Bharat and India both have complex historical, ideological, constitutional and international implications. Changing the name of the country will require a constitutional amendment with 2/3 majority vote from both houses of the parliament. Also, changing of names does not affect the basic structure doctrine. Many fear that the central government started using the name Bharat in English documents and may drop the name India. It also raises concern that this change might alienate the parts of the country that still uses the name India. That's all regarding this news article. In this news article, we saw some of the historical, constitutional and international perspective of the controversy of names India and Bharat. With these learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Take a look at this opinion page article. Today, that is 7th September, is annually celebrated as the International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies. It is celebrated worldwide to strengthen international cooperation in reducing air pollution and improving air quality. The theme for the 2023 celebration is Together for Clean Air. This theme highlights the urgent need for stronger partnerships and shared responsibility for overcoming air pollution. See, this article is written in the backdrop of International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies. So the article highlights the impacts of air pollution in India, and it also provides some viable solutions to overcome the air pollution. So we'll understand them in this news article discussion. Before that, we shall start by understanding the impacts of air pollution in India. As we all know, the world is now struggling with many problems like global warming, biodiversity loss, climate change, and so on. In addition to all these major problems, there is also a concern of air pollution. See, the air pollution acts as a silent killer in the world. If we look at the data, according to the World Health Organization in 2020, the air pollution related to lung cancer will result in 10 million deaths worldwide. And it is also estimated that the number would rise by another 3.2 million by 2050. This is a worrying fact, right? So just think how dangerous air pollution is. Now coming to the India specific information, according to the recently released Air Quality Life Index, India occupies the second place with high PM 2.5 pollution. And according to the index, Delhi is the most polluted city in the world. The worst air quality in Delhi continues to pose a long-term threat to the inhabitants around Delhi. The government has taken many policy measures to combat air pollution in and around Delhi. For example, the Indian Agricultural Research Institute IARI has developed PUSA decomposer with the help of the NGOs. This decomposer helped the rapid decomposition of paddy residues in the neighboring states of Delhi like Punjab and Haryana. This in turn has reduced the burning of paddy residues. As a result, the air pollution around Delhi has reduced over the time. This is a good initiative. Apart from this, the government of Delhi also introduced Graded Rapid Action Plan 3. This plan bans all construction activities in and around Delhi except those of national importance. See, the construction work is also one of the major contributor of air pollution. So banning the unnecessary construction work in Delhi have resulted in improved air quality. These kinds of policy measures have brought some significant improvement in the air quality index in Delhi, but the health risk associated with Delhi's polluted air still persist. Some of the air pollution related diseases like lung cancer, cardiovascular disorders, and respiratory alignments continue to destroy thousands of lives in Delhi. This is because the air in Delhi contains a lethal mix of sulfur dioxide and nitrous oxides along with high particulate matter concentrations. These harmful gases and substances in the air affect nearly 30 million people living in and around Delhi. The air pollution is harmful particularly to the less immune individuals like pregnant women, children, and the elderly. As per a Lancet report in India, 1.67 million pollution-related deaths were attributed to air pollution in 2019. This accounts for nearly 17.8% of the total deaths in the country. From these data, we can observe that air pollution is one of the major problems in India and it has to be addressed at a rapid pace. So now coming to what can be done to reduce air pollution in India. See, some of the measures like car-free zones, green spaces, smart urban designs, and electrified public transportation will yield some positive results. For example, let us take China. China has made a significant shift to clean energy and it also promoted the use of e-vehicles. As a result, China is witnessing a slow decline in air pollution. Apart from China, some other Asian countries like Taiwan and Vietnam are undertaking measures to reduce open straw burning. This resulted in reduced air pollution. So these kinds of best measures can be followed by India to reduce air pollution. Apart from this, UNESCO has also proposed some initiatives to combat air pollution. UNESCO advised its member countries to implement an internal carbon tax on all flight tickets. On one hand, it will help the government to mobilize funds for reducing pollution, and on the other hand, it discourages the people who contribute to air pollution. Apart from this, the UNESCO also insists the countries to make investment in emission reduction measures. If India efficiently follows these steps, the air pollution can be reduced significantly. Some of other activities including switching to electric vehicle, replacing lighting systems with greener LED, and implementing solar powered offices would also help India to combat air pollution. Apart from this, following effective green solutions like creating urban forest, parks, and green corridors can also help the government to reduce air pollution. That's all regarding this news article. With these learned points, let us move on to the next news article discussion. Take a look at this news article. According to the news article, yesterday in a protest meeting at Chennai, the Vidudalai Sirithaigal Katchi founder Mr. Thol Thirumavalavan criticized the PM Vishwakarma Yojana. Very recently only the central government has launched the scheme. This scheme aims to provide financial assistance to artisans like carpenters, potters, barbers, washermen and so on. Apart from this, the scheme also aims to strengthen Guru Shishya Parampara, that is family based practice of traditional skills. So in the meeting, Mr. Thirumavalavan said that the center has introduced PM Vishwakarma Yojana to promote Varnashrama Dharma. So what is this Varnashrama Dharma? It is a Sanskrit name given to the divisional structure of the Indian society. According to the Varnashrama Dharma, there are 4 Varnas or 4 social divisions which include Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra. The Brahmana refers to the priest class, the Kshatriya refers to the noble class like kings, then Vaishya refers to common people like traders, artisans, farmers and so on, and finally the Sudras refers to the servant class. He said that the Yojana promotes Varnashrama Dharma because the scheme aims to strengthen the family based practice of traditional skills. That is, the scheme encourages the son or daughter of an artisan to learn and practice the traditional skills carried out by their parents. So according to him, the scheme promotes the social division formulated by the Varnashrama Dharma. This is about the news article given here. In this background, let us quickly go through some of the points about PM Vishwakarma Yojana. See, the PM Vishwakarma Yojana was recently launched by the Union Cabinet. As I already said, it is a central sector scheme, which means that the scheme is fully funded by the central government. The scheme was set up with a financial outlay of 13,000 crore. Note that the scheme is going to be carried out for a period of 5 years, that is from financial year 2023 to 24 to financial year 2027 to 28. Talking about its objective, the scheme aims to strengthen and nurture the Guru Shishya Parampara or family based practice of traditional skills. This means that the scheme promotes the passing down of skills within families that are engaged in artworks and crafts making. In addition to this, the scheme also aims to improve the quality of products and services of artisans and craftspeople. The scheme also aims to improve the reach of products and services of artisans and craftspeople by integrating them with the domestic and global value chain. So these are all some of the objectives of the scheme. Now what can be done under the scheme? See, under this particular scheme, the artisans and craftspeople will be provided recognition. The recognition is provided through PM Vishwakarma certificate and ID card. In addition to this, the artisans and craftspeople are provided with a credit support of up to 2 lakh rupees. Note that the credit will be provided with a concessional interest rate of 5%. Apart from this, the scheme will provide skill upgradation, toolkit incentive and marketing support to artisans and craftspeople. Note that in the first instance, a total of 18 traditional trades will be covered under PM Vishwakarma. The trades are displayed here. You can go through it. So these are all some of the important things that you have to remember about PM Vishwakarma Yojana. With these learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Now take a look at this news article. It is about our Prime Minister's upcoming visit to Indonesia. See, during his visit, our Prime Minister will attend the 20th ASEAN India Summit and 18th East Asia Summit EAS in Jakarta. While departing to Indonesia, our Prime Minister mentioned that Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN is an important pillar of India's Act East policy. So in this context, we shall see some of the points about India's Act East policy. Before the Act East policy, we have the Look East policy. See, Look East policy is an effort by the Government of India to develop economic and strategic relations with Southeast Asian nations. India adopted this policy to increase its influence as a regional power. Through this policy, India also tried to counter Chinese influence in the region. The policy was initiated in the year 1991. This policy of India was a success. The success of the Look East policy led the Indian Foreign Ministry officials to develop another policy which is action-oriented and outcome-based. This led to the development of the Act East policy. India's Act East policy was announced in 2014 as a successor to the Look East policy. This policy focused on the 4 F's, which are culture, commerce, connectivity and capacity building. See, Act East policy extends its area of action beyond the Southeast Asian region to cover whole of Asia Pacific. The policy covered even East Asian countries like the Republic of Korea and Japan. Through this policy, new relationships and strategic partnerships were forged by India with the Philippines, Malaysia and Vietnam. Through policy also, India aims to prevent the dominance of China in both the South China Sea and the Indian Ocean. In addition to increasing its regional influence and countering China, India through the Act East policy also aims to foster economic relations with the region. As a part of this, the focus is on opening up markets and investment opportunities. This can lead to increased trade, investment and economic growth for both India and its partner countries. So that's all about India's Act East policy. With these learned points, now let us move on to the next part of the news article discussion, which is the preliminary practice question discussion. Now look at this first question. Which one of the following option is not the objective of PM Vishwakarma Yojana? 4 options are given and you have to choose the incorrect objective. So the correct answer here is option C. All the artisans and craft people in India are covered in the scheme. This statement is actually incorrect. Not all the artisans and craftsperson are covered under the scheme. As of now, only 18 traditional trades are covered in the scheme. Moving on, the East Asia Summit has 18 members, which includes 10 members of ASEAN and 8 dialogue partners. How many of the below mentioned countries are the dialogue partners of East Asia Summit? So the correct answer for this question is option C, only 4. So the questions displayed here are the mains practice questions for you today. Just go through the question, try to write an answer and post it in the comment section. With this, we came to the end of the news article discussion. If you like the video, hit like, do comment and don't forget to subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Now, thank you for listening.